Coming to you live from Dodger Stadium, I am Eric Becker, and she is Stefanie Arias, as I adjust the angle. And this is DodgerVerse reporting live from the stadium and checking out whether or not we have live broadcast capability. So hopefully somebody out there is watching this so that we can find out. Now, the Dodgers are coming off of an offseason which they made a complete overhaul of the team, getting Jimmy Rollins to play shortstop and Howie Kendrick to play second base. Matt Kemp has gone down to San Diego. Jock Peterson will be occupying the outfield. Actually, Puig moving over to right to take Kemp's old spot and Peterson playing center. And there's a few questions left as far as, who's going to be our starting left fielder. Is it going to be Andre Ethier? Is it going to be Carl Crawford? Is Scott Van Slyke going to be getting some regular time? Well, I guess we're going to find out as the season goes on. I'm Eric Becker. This is Stefanie Arias. Stefanie, say hello to our audience.
Hello, everybody.
And so what are your thoughts on the off-season?
The off season?
Yes.
That it was off?
Yeah, the off-season was off. How was the off-season?
Very too long. Does that make sense? It was too long.
Too long? Too much time away from the ballpark, you mean?
Too much time.
What did you think about the moves? I mean, obviously, D. Gordon is gone. Matt Kemp is gone.
Don't miss Matt, for sure. But I miss D.
What did you think about the moves? Do you think that the Dodgers picked up enough pieces?
I sure hope so.
You sure hope so? Well, that's not the most reassuring thing that I've ever heard. But, yeah, hopefully they have done something to make up for some of the loss of offense. Obviously, Hanley Ramirez also going to the Boston Red Sox over the course of the offseason. But the Dodgers making some pickups in their rotation. Dan Herron leaving the ball club.
I know.
But pickups, Brandon McCarthy, Brett Anderson. A little concern right now with Hung Jin Ryu, who has a little bit of a shoulder problem. May miss a couple of weeks. Hopefully it's nothing too much longer than that. Did you see anything in terms of a spot where you think maybe the Dodgers didn't pick up the piece that they needed?
I think just time will tell. There's a lot of new players, and they need to fit in with the rest of the remaining players, and hopefully everybody works well together. They didn't look too horrible for spring training, so it seems hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Well, hopefully that will all come to pass. And of course, by the way, we are here at the top deck. That's the wall between aisles 5 and 7 behind me. And if I can turn here, there's your view, folks. Just to confirm, we are in fact at the ballpark, and this wall behind me is merely placed there for the sake of, well, support and holding up the thing up there, that thing.
The top
portion of the stadium. So, just kind of looking over things, what is it that you would like to see out of the Dodgers this year, Stephanie?
Win the World Series.
You think a World Series is feasible with the lineup and the roster that they have currently constructed?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm just waiting to see how it plays out.
Now, Yasiel Puig obviously had a hot spring, especially in the second half of the spring. Started hitting a lot of home runs. A little bit of a scare the other night when he got the elbow to the neck playing down in Anaheim. But he seems to be all right. That seems to be the consensus, and he was back playing last night. What do you think about Puig this year? Do you think he's got the potential to put up an MVP caliber season?
I sure hope he learns to be patient and not think that he can win the game by himself.
Well, that's true. One of the things that has been both a blessing and a curse for Yasiel Puig has been the fact that he is the wild horse and he does run wild.
Yes, he does. You can tell sometimes when he's not focused, and I think he gets frustrated and he just wants to either help the team get out a little slump they might be in, or I don't know what his train of thought is, but he needs to concentrate on when to swing the bat, not just swing at anything that comes towards him.
Well, when to swing the bat is definitely an issue that is a point of concern for Puig. Vulnerable to the strikeout to some extent. Sometimes he showed some great play discipline last season, and then other times he was swinging away, especially against pitchers that threw like 98, 99. It was like he wanted to rise to the challenge, and sometimes you got to look at a pitch or two from those guys and wait for the breaking ball to come around.
it gets frustrating. You're watching the game, we're not doing so well, and we count on people like Kui to kind of create something, get us out of a rut. And I think there's a lot of pressure on himself. He puts it on himself too, so he's trying really hard to get his wins, which I get, but you got to be smart about it too. You can't just be so emotional that it clouds your judgment and you're just not producing.
True. Now, Adrian Gonzalez comes back, anchoring down first base. Led the National League, actually led all of baseball in runs batted in last year. Consistent force in the lineup. Maybe the batting average wasn't quite as high as it's been in some years, but clearly an impact bat, especially in the last couple of months of the season. What do you think Agon needs to do this year to get this team over the top?
Man, I don't know. I really like him. I feel like I shouldn't say anything bad about him. I think he's a great first baseman, and he's reliable in swinging the bat. Just keep doing what he's doing. You get better, I guess, obviously. But
well, of course, there's always room for improvement in anybody's game. Yeah. Now, last year, a lot of teams would play a defensive shift against Adrian Gonzalez, which resulted in a lot of situations where he'd hit a ball pretty hard into right field and be thrown out at first base. He made some adjustments trying to hit the ball the other way. What do you think his approach to the shift might be this year? Do you think he's going to keep trying to hit the ball the other way, or do you think he's going to try to slug the ball into right field?
I think he has to try both. You can't just do the same thing over and over again. Change it up and try new techniques.
Now, I've heard some people suggest that Agon should bunt. Do you think Agon is fast enough to bunt?
It depends on how well the bunt is, I guess.
Well, what they're talking about, okay. Just
like,
to
get
get perspective, I'm gonna put this behind me again. Okay. So you've got everybody on that first base side, right? All the infielders on the first base side, maybe one guy on the third base side over here. If Agon bunts the ball up the line, do you think that he has the speed to beat a throw from a running third baseman or shortstop covering that side of the infield, throwing to first base? Where would he need to put the ball, do you think, if he was going to try that method?
Towards the right.
Toward the right?
Away from third base.
Away from third base. But then if you go away from third base, everybody's on the first base side. So where exactly away from third base would you put the ball if you were Adrian Gonzalez and you were slow and you were trying to beat out the ball?
I don't think he should.
You don't think he should bunt? But
if he does, then it's got to be a good bunt.
Well, of course, anyone who bunts, we would hope would lay down a good bunt. Now, it looks like it's going to be a pretty full house tonight, actually. I see a lot of seats starting to fill in, even up into the far corners. Now, there's probably going to be a lot of people that are, season ticket holders that don't show up tonight. So probably a lot of empties down lower, but it definitely looks like it's a well-sold game and a lot of people coming out to the ballpark in anticipation. The Dodgers,
we're all excited to be here.
The Dodgers sold 3 million tickets, the earliest in their history. That's 35,000 season tickets plus single game buys. Do you think that the Dodgers can finally crack that 4 million number this year?
I don't know. I think if they give good games and they produce well, fans are going to want to be here. If we win, we need to win.
Well, yeah, winning is everything in this sport. People say, "Oh, it's sportsmanship and this and that," and yeah, on an individual basis, time to time, you do come across that. But at the end of the day, the object is to win baseball games.
I think there's a cool community that the Dodgers have. That we like being here. It's fun. It's almost friends and family kind of night.
Well, there's definitely a very friendly environment here at Dodger Stadium. A lot of people do get to know each other, and friendships form, and people come back year in and year out. And I think that has actually been a big part of what has caused the crowds to start to swell Dodger Stadium again after the report era. It's not just having new ownership and winning teams, but it's having good company and a lot of people at the ballpark. You look around, you got a lot of characters out in the left field pavilion doing their thing. I know Dodger Films likes to sit down there. There's a lot of people that sit sort of in their region, section 307. And then just around the ballpark, you got your character, Blue Hawk, who tends to sit pavilions, but he's throughout the park. Hiccups Payaso can be seen throughout the park throughout the season, doing some great charitable works for the community. Actually, before the game, we stopped by and we visited with him a little bit out past the Golden State Gate, as they call it, Gate C, which takes you out to the 5 freeway. Out there having his fundraiser, serving pizza to the community, doing face painting, and raising money for a good cause, feeding the homeless on Skid Row, and also helping to raise money for Easter baskets for children that are sick at the Children's Hospital here in Los Angeles. So, I mean, there's a lot of great fans. There's a lot of great causes. I really feel like, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, that the community has really grown, starting with the protests against Frank McCourt, which I personally was a part of. You know, a lot of people going out there and rallying in defense of, you know, basically taking back their club, and just continuing forward ever since then. Now kind of fighting the battle against Time Warner. 70% of households still blacked out from their Dodgers, and we at DodgerVerse intend to do everything that we can to get you guys coverage. Obviously tonight is a bit out of the question, but we're talking with some people. Marco Fregoso I was speaking to out at Hiccups thing. He's got a group that gets together at different bars and restaurants on Fridays and Saturday nights and watches Dodger games. So we're looking forward to working with Marco and getting events together for everybody out there to, you know, frankly, go have a bite to eat, have a bite to, well, I was going to say have a bite to drink, but you can't really bite your drink.
No.
I mean, you could.
If it's frozen, I guess.
Yeah, a bit to drink, I should say. And, you know, just really get out there and have a good time and get to know people in the community. And by the way, I've got my, it says Clowns Are Cool. This was being handed out there with Hiccups. But no, I think you've hit on a point, which is that there's a great family and friend environment here at Dodger Stadium. And, you know, hopefully that continues throughout the season, and hopefully not only do people get together for good times, but a lot of Dodger wins.
Yeah, definitely.
Dodgers obviously have been to the playoffs 2 consecutive years now, back-to-back National League West champions, but we want a little bit more. We want to win that World Series championship.
The good thing is that within these 2 years, we've kind of made some progress. You know, we haven't gotten worse over the years, so hopefully we'll do better, like you said. More progress.
So I'm just going to call it here and now. We're not going to take too much of the viewers' times today. My thoughts, I think we're going to see a trifecta of awards here. Clayton Kershaw, all due respect, I gave you the Cy Young Award again this year. I think Kershaw is going to win it.
He's amazing.
He's just going to get better, in my opinion.
We're so lucky to have him.
It's incredible. It's like watching a legend grow every time you come to the ballpark.
I think that's another reason why to come. You get to see history being made.
You do.
You just never know what's going to happen.
And like
so
I
gotta
said,
be here.
all due respect to Mr. Kershaw, I think this is the year that Puig breaks out. I think this is going to be an MVP year for Yasiel Puig. And I think Jock Peterson is going to hit between 25 and 30 home runs. He's going to hit well over 300. And Rookie of the Year, not to mention that glove out in center field. He can go get it. So those are my preseason awards. I think the Dodgers take a trifecta in the National League. And a lot of people are saying 97 wins. I don't know if 97 wins is going to be the number, but I do think that they wind up on top of the division. I think that San Diego has spent a lot of money. They picked up some good players. And if everything clicks right, then they would presumably be the favorites based on the names they have on that roster. I think the Dodgers are a deeper team. I think they're a more complete team. I think their pitching is better, and I think that the Dodgers will win the National League West this year. And I think that they have the people in place now, especially defensively, to win the World Series. The only question mark I have right now is the bullpen, but I think that the bullpen is going to come together, and I think that Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi have a better understanding of how to build a bullpen and how to move pieces around than Ned Colletti did. All due respect to Mr. Colletti, who, of course, put together quite a few playoff teams here in Los Angeles. So, what do you think?
I'm excited.
I am excited, too. Anyway, we thank you for tuning in and giving us a little bit of your Saturday evening. She's short. I'm Eric. And she's also Stefanie. And from DodgerVerse.com, thank you for tuning in.
Bye.